Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 winter commencement for Milwaukee Area Technical College. I am Karina Gray, a candidate for graduation from the Business Management Technical Diploma Program. To honor each and every one of our graduates, we ask that our guests stay for the full duration of the ceremony, and it is our expectations that all candidates stay until each and every one of your classmates have crossed the stage and your degrees and diplomas are conferred. Please turn your attention to the arena floor. Now entering and carrying the MATC MACE is STEM Pathway faculty member, AFT Local 212 President and Grand Marshal, Dr. Lisa Conley. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the candidates for graduation now entering the arena. Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the arena, MATC's distinguished faculty and staff members. Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the arena, the distinguished commencement platform party. MATC's deans, members of the President's Cabinet, district board members, our student commencement speaker, Encore Kushaw, our keynote speaker, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, and finally, MATC's President, Dr. Anthony Cruz.
President Cruz, the candidates are now assembled.
Thank you, Dr. Conley. Please be seated. Good morning. This is truly a joyous occasion. Welcome to the Milwaukee Area Technical College 2024 winter commencement. I'm Dr. Anthony Cruz. I am the 11th president of MATC. Today, we recognize the graduation candidates with us here and those candidates who could not be with us. We are proud of what you have accomplished during your time at MATC. I want to thank the members of the MATC District Board for joining us today. Thank you, Chairperson Mark Foley, Secretary Citlali Mendieta Ramos, Treasurer Gail Pence, and board members Lauren Baker, Dr. Walid Najib, Supreme Moore Amakunde, for joining us today. Let's give them a round of applause. Candidates, after today's commencement, please stay connected to us. Join the MATC Alumni Network and share your accomplishments. It's just one way that your instructors, advisors, coaches, classmates, even myself, will learn more about what you're doing, cheering you on as you have future successes. This morning, we gather in an arena of champions. 3 years ago, the Milwaukee Bucks won the NBA championship in this very space. That's right, let's give it up for the Bucks. They practiced day in and day out. They made sacrifices and prioritized their dreams. They committed to themselves and those around them, and they gave it their all. Candidates, you have done all of these things as well. Today, you are champions, and champions deserve to be recognized. So I'm going to ask a few questions. As I ask them, I want you to stand and stay standing until we complete my questions, okay? This is, we're going to recognize all of you. Candidates, if you were the first person in your family to go to college, please stand. Wow. Please stay standing. If you went to work and had to work while you were going to college, please stand. If you went to college while raising a child, please stand. If you earned a 3.5 GPA or better, please stand. If you're a student athlete, please stand. If you are a veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces, please stand. If anyone ever told you that you couldn't get here today, please stand. If any of you have ever struggled with a challenging class project or anything you had to do and you had to work extra hard to get there, please stand. Well, at this point, I think all of you should be standing, right? So give yourselves a hand. You see what I told you? You are all champions. Please sit. Thank you. And as we know, champions always have somebody in their corner. So if there's a person here today, or several individuals here today that have cheered you on, and they're here today, please go ahead and acknowledge them. Point to them in the stands. Point to them. Show them the love. Thank you to the families, friends, colleagues, and others who are here to support our candidates. I also want to thank our faculty, staff, and administrators who have played such a critical role in your success. We have celebrated so many stories here at MATC, students who have actually inspired their parents to go back to school. And we have graduates who are inspired by who have inspired their parents' success, and they're here on this very stage. So, if today's ceremony inspires you, please take the next step, because we want to see you at MATC. To the candidates, now that you've reached this point, you're ready for what's next. Whether it's a new career, a four-year university, or both. The leaders of the places where you're going recognize your degree or diploma and understand the value of MATC. Whatever's next, continue to stay in touch and use us as a resource. I wish you all a bright future in whatever comes next. You are all champions today. Give yourselves a hand on this big victory. And today you're going to have a lot of opportunities after the ceremony to take a lot of selfies and a lot of pictures with your loved ones. But I want to do something right now real special. I want to take a selfie with all of you. All right? Everybody ready? You're going to give me big smiles? All right. Here we go. Excellent. Thank you for indulging me. And now, because it's so important, in accordance and custom with tradition, I hereby declare the Winter 2024 commencement for Milwaukee Area Technical College open. Please stand for the national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Rockets, bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Philip King, the MATC's Executive Vice President of Student Success. This graduating class includes more than 1,000 associate technical diploma, apprenticeship, and adult high school diploma candidates. We're also recognizing 15 candidates for graduation who've served our country in the U.S. military. These veterans received a red, white, and blue cord from the college. Thank you for all serving our country. We will be proud to call you alumni and owe you our sincere gratitude. At our commencement ceremonies, we hear from a student who can impart the wisdom that only a peer can provide to fellow students. This winter, that student is Ankur Kashal. Mr. Kashal is a student in our Associate of Science 4-year transfer degree program. Throughout his time at MATC, he has demonstrated a commitment to the field of science and a spirit of service. Here's an example. On the first day of calculus class, 2 new students didn't have all the materials they needed. Without being asked, Mr. Kashal took them to the library, showed them how to get the materials, and all 3 came back within minutes, ready to learn. He has tutored students in math and science and plans to come back after graduation to tutor students in anatomy and physiology. Mr. Kashal has led high school students on tours of the college to get excited about science at MATC. And he volunteers at Discovery World to help young children better understand science. He also volunteers at his church. Mr. Kashal's academic career is also marked by excellence. After graduating high school in India, he went on to higher education before coming to the United States. At MATC, he earned a Certificate of Commendation for scholastic achievement from the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society and is a member of the National Society of Leadership and Success. From here, he plans to attend a 4-year university for nursing and ultimately go to medical school. He says MATC has given him a solid academic foundation to make his goals attainable. In applying for this recognition, Mr. Kashal expressed gratitude for his exemplary instructors, hands-on experience, and sincere concern from faculty and staff who wanted to see him succeed. On behalf of everyone at the college, let me just say that it is an honor for us to call you an alumnus. Please welcome Ankur Kashal.
Thank you, Dr. King, for such a kind introduction. It's truly an honor to speak before Dr. Cruz, deans, presidents, cabinet members, district board members, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, faculty, staff, friends, and families who have shaped the class I'm so proud to represent, the class of 2024. It is my good fortune to be addressing all of you at this graduation ceremony of 2024. I can still remember the day when my Air India flight slowly descended and approached the runway, preparing for landing at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. I can remember my heart begins to beat more rapidly, and I could feel my breath quickens. Within minutes, the plane would land in a country totally new to me, and from that point onwards, my life would be changed forever. My name is Ankur Kaushal. I was born and raised in India and arrived in the United States on February 28, 2023. While I have learned many lessons since my arrival, one of the most important was that small steps make a big difference. While each of you will pursue your own unique career, but believe me, the same lesson that I have learned will serve you as well. The first challenge I faced when I moved to Milwaukee was navigating through city. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know where the MATC was located. And here I am 2 years later, giving a commencement speech in front of you. I started my journey to school by learning about bus routes. This was not an easy task either. A few times I got onto the wrong bus and finally asked the driver. And after I got off, he told me what bus I needed to take. Somehow or other, I made it to the school. Now I have my own car, thanks to my parents. Perhaps it's not the car of my dream, but I get where I need to go. Small steps make a big difference. Another challenge I faced when I moved to Milwaukee was making friends. The only person I knew was my father, with whom I lived. I realized, however, I needed to develop my own network of friends. But the problem was, where do I start? I began with small steps. I initiated conversation with some of my fellow classmates, not knowing what to talk about. I was also somewhat apprehensive about them understanding me because of my accent. But my courage paid off. I found my classmates to be warm and welcoming, and long before, it was easier for me to connect with them. I also sought some venues where I could go and meet new people. One of those places was a dance club in Milwaukee. The first night I went in there, people were salsa dancing. I spoke to a girl standing next to me and said, I would ask you to dance, but I don't know how to do the salsa. She took me by the hand and she said, I'll show you. Next to my list is learning to do tango. Here also, small steps make a big difference. Finally, the last challenge I faced was being willing to ask for help. I suspect some of you are like me in this regard. When I started my journey at MATC, I often had questions regarding my course content. And slowly, I began to reach out to my instructors regarding those questions. At first, I was a bit nervous asking for their help. But as I continued doing so, I became more comfortable. Eventually, I reached a point where I was able to freely converse with them. I also made some really good friends with some of my instructors in here. including Dr. Scott Chillip, Lisa Hugdahl, and Dr. Jay Kinchy. Ultimately, I found that faculty and staff at MATC are always eager to help students in whatever way they could. I want to say, the more you ask for what you need, the easier it becomes for you. Here again, small steps made a big difference. In conclusion, I would like to share a brief story about John Wooden, an American basketball coach at UCLA. He won 10 national NCAA championships in a 12-year period as a head coach of UCLA Bruins, including a record of 7 in a row. Wooden was admired for his leadership and ability to inspire greatness in others, including players like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Wooden's 29-year coaching career and overwhelming critical acclaims in leadership created a legacy not only in sports, but extended to his business, personal success, and organizational leadership. Wooden once said, "It's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen." Let me repeat it for you. It's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen. We too can take small steps to make a big difference, achieving our own personal brand of success. Congratulations, class of 2024. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Kashal, for sharing your reflections with fellow graduates today on the importance of taking small steps towards achieving big things. Now we're grateful to have a keynote speaker who will share his life experiences and advice at this important milestone in your lives. David Crowley is the elected executive of Milwaukee County, first sworn into office May of 2020. Mr. Crowley became the youngest county executive in the history of Milwaukee County. He also was the first Black leader elected to serve in the role and was reelected to a second term earlier this year. A lifelong Milwaukee resident, Mr. Crowley notes his focus on building bridges that bring people together, delivering prosperity for working families, and fostering a safer, stronger, and healthier Milwaukee County. During his lifetime in office, he led the implementation During his time in office, he led the implementation of the county's first strategic plan in 20 years with a vision of achieving racial equity and by doing so, becoming the healthiest county in Wisconsin. Mr. Crowley also helped Milwaukee County secure new revenue-generating tools through the passage of bipartisan Wisconsin Act 12 that reformed the state's local revenue-sharing structure for the first time in over 2 decades. Growing up in a working-class family in Milwaukee's 53206 neighborhood, he attended MPS's Bayview High School and lives in Milwaukee with his wife Erica and their 3 young daughters. And in addition to balancing family and work responsibilities, later this weekend, County Executive Crowley is graduating from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee School of Education. He will earn his Bachelor of Science degree in Community Engagement and Education. I think I saw applause coming there quickly. There we go. Please join me in both congratulating and welcoming Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley.
How you feeling, graduates? You feeling good? Good. First and foremost, I want to say good morning to our MATC graduates, faculty, staff, the family and friends that are here. Thank you all for allowing me this opportunity to celebrate the class of 2024. Can we give them another round of applause? It's exciting. Again, I am David Crowley, your Milwaukee County executive. It's truly an honor to be joining you all today. I want to say thank you to the Milwaukee Area Technical College, including MATC President Dr. Anthony Cruz, for inviting me to deliver this year's commencement address. Now, I know many of you know in this room that MATC has been leading the way forward when it comes to shaping the next generation of leaders throughout our community. The skills you all have learned during your time at MATC will not only benefit you and your families, but it will benefit our entire region and the state of Wisconsin. Today, we are marking the completion of a degree, as well as the beginning of something even greater, and that is a future full of opportunities and so much possibility. This is your moment. This is your moment not only to celebrate, but to reflect on the power that you've discovered within yourselves during your time at MATC. And as I look into the crowd, I am reminded of the challenges that many of you may have endured along your journey. And as I stand in awe of the strength, in awe of the resilience and the persistence that every graduating student who will be walking across this stage today has continued to give. Because we know that there are countless people in Milwaukee, in the state of Wisconsin, who need to learn that they too can rise above their circumstances and they too can succeed. And for me, I was one of those kids on the block. And like my story, like many of yours, it is one of perseverance. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, when I was growing up, no, I never thought that I would be an elected official. I was raised on 23rd and Burleigh, in Milwaukee's 53206 zip code, a neighborhood notoriously known as one of the most underinvested communities with the highest percentage of incarcerated black men in the entire country. In my family, we faced many challenges. We faced evictions. We faced unstable housing, mental health challenges, and addiction. But when I was in high school, I joined an organization called Urban Underground that changed my life. And Urban Underground empowered me, as well as many other young people at the time, to foster safe and stronger neighborhoods. And they did this through programming, partnerships, and community organizing. But one of the founders and the directors of that organization, a man named Reggie Moore, became a powerful mentor for me. It was his guidance and his encouragement that helped change the course of my life. And it inspired me to dedicate my life to community service. Without Urban Underground, without my relationship to Reggie Moore, I would not be standing in front of you all today. And I know that accomplishing big things in life can present some very unique challenges. And I'll give you an example. In the spring of 2016, I ran for office and I lost. And I lost pretty badly. And honestly, it wasn't easy taking that L, but I didn't let that setback define me. And it was in that moment I was reminded of a quote from a famous philosopher who said, "Do or do not, there is no try." And that famous philosopher is Yoda, for those who don't know. And what that did was, it motivated me. It rallied me up. I was able to get my loved ones alongside of me, and you know what I did? I ran for office again. And later that year, in the fall of 2016, I was elected to the Wisconsin State Assembly to serve the city that saved my life. But then, another opportunity came. An opportunity for me to make an even greater impact, a bigger impact on the community itself. And all I could remember during that time was a little voice in the back of my head. And that voice was a local leader by the name of Dr. Fuller. And when I was a teenager, he said to me one time, "Sometimes you have to leap before you look." And so I did. And I ran for office again for Milwaukee County Executive, and on May 4th of 2020, I was elected and sworn into office as the youngest Milwaukee County executive in history and the first African American to serve in this role. Thank you. Now, I say that to say, while I was in this seat, I soon realized that being the first means absolutely nothing if you're also going to be the last. And so it was in that moment that I knew that I needed to step up and pay it forward for my community. It's one of the reasons why I began to use my position to inspire the next generation of leaders. Now I mentor young people in my community, introducing them to prominent leaders, sharing my own experiences, and encouraging them to dream bigger than they ever thought was possible. Because it is my job to pass down the same inspiration, the same guidance that was given to me, and share it with the rest of the world. And I want to use my story to inspire people in Milwaukee who have experienced a childhood just like mine, and show them that another path forward to a thriving future absolutely is possible. And I hope all of the graduates today leave today with that same mission. Because graduating college is no easy feat. And trust me, I know, because I'm graduating tomorrow and I can't wait. And I'll be honest, I got a heavy case of senioritis, and I know y'all did too. And I want y'all to understand how much I share in your excitement, how much I share in the hope for a brighter future. But for our graduates, I also share in that sense of relief because it's over. And I know that once that diploma is in your hands, all the hours that you did studying and the challenges that you've overcome to get that diploma, oh yes, it's gonna be well worth it, y'all. It will be well worth it. And so I wanna stand here today and leave you with a few nuggets. First and foremost, be proud of what you have accomplished. Give yourselves a round of applause. Be proud of what you have accomplished. Be proud of completing your degree, your certificates, or your apprenticeship, or whatever program that you are finishing, because this right here is a major achievement within itself. But while we also celebrate your accomplishments, I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to turn this positive energy into some action. I often say a rising tides lift all boats. And what I mean by this is that we all must work together to ensure that when one person succeeds, we all succeed. Because your success is our community's success. Every one of us that are in here right now, we are here because someone believed in us. Someone supported us along the way, and someone gave us an opportunity. And you know what? Now it's your turn. It is your turn to be the person who lifts up the next generation. Because we also not only need you, but we need them to lead us into a future that is bright. The world truly needs your voice. The world needs your ideas. And the world absolutely needs your leadership and your work ethic. And as you leave this place today, carrying with the belief that not only you can, but you will make a difference for yourselves and your families and our community moving forward. Because I know every day will not be easy, but I also know that the future is extremely bright. And the future is bright because all of you are in it. And so to the class of 2024, I'm here to tell you that the world is waiting on your brilliance. So congratulations again, because the best is yet to come. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you, County Executive Crowley. Thank you for taking the time to share those inspiring words. My name is Michael Amem. and I'm a proud graduate of MATC. And I am here today as a member of the Finance Committee of the MATC Foundation. The foundation is the college's philanthropic partner that raises funds for student scholarships, emergency assistance, and wraparound programs. On behalf of the MATC Foundation, I am here to announce that we are designating a $1,000 scholarship in the county executive's name that will be awarded to a student in the Human Service Associate Program next year. We are excited to give a small graduation gift to each of our student award winners today: the Outstanding Student Associate Degree, the Outstanding Student Technical Diploma, and the President's Award winner. We applaud your academic excellence, and I extend my sincere congratulations to all the graduates.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mohammed Dakwar, the Vice President of Learning here at MATC, and I'm joined by our Grand Marshal, Dr. Lisa Conley.
Thank you, Dr. Dakwar. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the Milwaukee Area Technical College, we're pleased to call forward MATC's Pathway Deans, who will present their candidates.
After that, our associate degree, technical diploma, apprenticeship, and adult high school candidates for graduation will walk across the stage. Finally, and most importantly, Dr. Cruz will confer their degrees and diplomas.
Hello, I am Carl Meredith, the Dean of the Business and Management Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science and Technical Diploma. Can you give them a round of applause? These candidates have met all the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates for this pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good morning. I am Dr. Valencia Brown, Dean of Community and Human Services Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and the staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science, Technical Diploma, and Apprenticeship Diploma. The candidates have met all the requirements, are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from this pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good morning. I'm Dr. Mike City, Dean of the Creative Arts, Design, and Media Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I'm pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science and Technical Diploma. These candidates have met all the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from the Create Pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good morning. I am Dr. Sadiq Isahaku, Executive Dean of Academic and Innovation. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the General Education Academic and Career Pathway, I am pleased to present the candidates for Adult High School, Diploma, Degree of Associate of Arts, Degree of Associate of Science, and Degree of Associate in Applied Science. These candidates have met all requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from the General Education Academic and Career Pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good morning. I am Dr. Eric Goss, Dean of the Healthcare Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science and Technical Diploma. These candidates have met all of the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from the Healthcare Pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good morning. I'm Becky Alsop, Dean of the Manufacturing, Construction, and Transportation Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I'm pleased to present the candidates for a degree of Associate in Applied Science, Technical Diploma, and Apprenticeship Diploma. These candidates have met all the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from the MCT pathway please rise and remain standing?
Good morning. I am Dr. Mike Jenkins, Associate Dean of the STEM Academic and Career Pathway. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science and Technical Diploma. These candidates have met all the requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees and diplomas. Will the candidates from the STEM pathway please rise and remain standing?
At this time, candidates will be individually recognized and presented with their degrees and diplomas here on stage. After the candidates receive their degree or diploma, they will return to their seats. When all the candidates are reseated, Dr. Cruz will officially confer the degrees and diplomas. To respect the accomplishments we celebrate today, we remind both candidates and guests to stay until all the candidates have crossed the stage and all the credentials have been conferred. Marshals and ushers, please direct the candidates to the stage. To our candidates, please, you can be seated.
Sanaya Renee Smith, Business Management, Associate degree.
Kenyatta K. Robinson, Leadership Development.
Mia Friend, Digital Marketing and Integrated Communication.
With Scholastic Honors, Barayvon T. Wyatt, Accounting Assistant.
Carlos Fuentes, Business Management, Associate degree.
Demetrius D. Atkins, Business Management.
Alicia Allen, Banking and Financial Services.
Shania Gray, Digital Marketing and Integrated Communication.
Lakeisha W. Fortenberry, Medical Administrative Specialist.
With Scholastic Honors, Tracy L. Hens-Peter, Medical Administrative Specialist.
Nancy Sanchez, Accounting Associate Degree.
Laura Louise Bean, Accounting.
Faith Essence Mallet, Business Management.
Alasia Kanye Kirkwood, Business Management.
Sarah Roz Lowe, Business Analyst.
With Scholastic Honors, Yulia Bernat, Accounting Assistant.
Albert Brian Troop, Supply Chain Management.
Christopher Lachuga, Business Management. Faria Qasim Muhammad, Business Management.
Camille L. Wooden, Entrepreneurship.
Excuse us, let's just start that over. Faria Qasim Muhammad is right there.
Camille L. Wooden, Entrepreneurship. Destiny T. Tampson, Business Management.
Chanel A. Smith, Banking and Financial Services.
Lazaria Marie Goldbranson, Business Management.
Davin D. Jenkins, Business Management.
Danielle Odrolski, Accounting.
Nazar M. Kadada, Business Management.
Karina Gray, Business Management.
With Scholastic Honors. Okay. With Scholastic Honors.
Oh, okay.
Say it. You can say with Scholastic Honors.
And Karina is graduating with Scholastic Honors.
Kenneth Spence, Business Management.
Carlos Verdohan, Business Management.
With Scholastic Honors, Victoria Rain Knight, Business Management Marketing.
Jayla Owens, Business Management, with Scholastic Honors.
With Scholastic Honors, with Scholastic Honors, Kelvin Joe Hampton, Supply Chain Management.
Jean Paul Masudi, Supply Chain Management, with Scholastic Honors.
Ja Bell, Business Management.
Maria Michaelan Mai, Business Management.
Akira Catherine, Business Management.
Serena Booth, Business Management.
Paris Brown, Business Management.
Eliza Beth Esvans, Entrepreneurship. Elizabeth A. Evans, Entrepreneurship.
YU Her, Marketing.
Adriel Perez Hernandez, Accounting.
Johnny Lohr, Business Management.
Imani Bradford, Business Management.
Brittany Lynn Urban, Accounting.
Crystal D. Walls, Business Management.
With Scholastic Honors, Sheila Robles, Accounting.
Zatia L. McCree, Business Management.
With Scholastic Honors, Sohair Yusuf Abdul Halim, Business Management.
Kelly M. Bates, Human Resources.
Priscilla Zuniga, Human Resources.
Tia Nairi Harris, Human Resources.
Rosa Hernandez, Leadership Development.
Sydney Rondell Gregory Smith, Business Management with Scholastic Honors.
Sierra A. Thomas, Business Management.
Alyssa S. Gilgenbach, Business Management.
Carla B. Rosas, Business Management.
Okay. With Scholastic Honors, Kenneth McNair, Business Management.
Emily Barrios, Business Management.
Miracle L. Wells, Business Management.
Asia D. Leonard, Business Management.
With Scholastic Honors, Taylor Drew Dorhan, Marketing.
Shardea Louise Shorts, Business Management.
Kelvin A. Hayden, Digital Marketing and Integrated Communication.
Yaralis Corliss Cajias Reyes, Accounting Assistant.
Benjamin Cervantes Castillo, Business Management.
Angel E. Quiones, Business Management.
Paul Finley Crail IV, Business Management.
Razak Izahar, Business Management.
Sua Zhang, Marketing.
With Scholastic Honors, Jada Rose Wilson, Human Resources. Dante Santana, Business Management.
Natalie Rose Quesada, with Scholastic Honors, Business Management.
With Scholastic Honors, Juana Esmeralda Chavez, Cosmetology.
With Scholastic Honors, Brooke Krogloski, Cosmetology.
With Scholastic Honors, Simone L. Reed, Cosmetology.
With Scholastic Honors, Cassandra Lynn Shadai Dur, Cosmetology.
Marcia Weddle. Angelica D. Grady.
Alexis Wilson, Cosmetology.
Rana Sultan.
Alexa Guzman, Cosmetology.
With Scholastic Honors, Business Management, Deja Lachey Adams.
With Scholastic Honors, Cosmetology, Jacina Citron.
With Scholastic Honors, Early Childhood Education, Shada M. Chaban.
With Scholastic Honors, Early Childhood Education, Esra Abd Al-Rahman.
Criminal Justice Studies, Heaven Renee McClendon.
Jessica Vasquez Barrianes Barber.
DeAndre Harris.
With Scholastic Honors, Barbering Markel Milna.
With Scholastic Honors, Dante LaShawn Butler.
Legacy Citron Cosmetology.
Juan Guillermo Lacasno.
With Scholastic Honors, Barbering Alexander Mejia Fragoso.
With Scholastic Honors, Criminal Justice Studies, Jeff Samaria.
Tatiana Neal, Early Childhood Education.
Early Childhood Education, Summer Kajia Zhang.
With Scholastic Honors, Jasmine Garduno.
Early Childhood Education, Laquita N. Oliver.
Manpreet Kaur, Early Childhood Education.
Criminal Justice Studies, Lucia Quesada.
Criminal Justice Studies, Tina Wicks.
With Scholastic Honors, Environmental Health and Water Quality Technology, William Jerome Sikora.
With Scholastic Honors, Criminal Justice Studies, Jeremy Carter.
Criminal Justice Studies, Kayla Kirby.
With Scholastic Honors, Criminal Justice, DeAndrea Johnson.
Human Services Associate, Michelle Neighbors.
Nail Technician, Kayla Ashley.
With Scholastic Honors, Human Service Associate, Ashley Baylor.
Human Service Associate, Jankiria Franquise Thompson.
With Scholastic Honors, Child Care Services, Marlena Foster. Nail Technician, Julia Mercado. Nail Technician, Emily Guadalupe Hernandez.
Nail Technician, Daphne Fang.
Nail Technician, Elena Zhang.
Nail Technician, Malia Yang.
With Scholastic Honors, Child Care Services, Ilse Gideon.
Nail Technician, Neshalis Baez Mendez.
Nail Technician, Jasmine Robello.
Nail Technician, Tiara Johnson.
Nail Technician, Fernanda Silva Cordero.
Nail Technician, Crystal Gomez.
Nail Technician, Shia Chu.
Criminal Justice Studies, Heather Belansky.
With Scholastic Honors, Human Service Associate, Jamie Ann Allard. Nail Technician, Kiera Barajas.
Nail Tech, Jazaria Harris.
Nail Technician, Jamie Stinson.
Nail Technician, Naquisha Smith.
Emergency Medical Technician, Savion Relina Durant.
Human Service Associate, Elfrida Casterlo.
With Scholastic Honors, Early Childhood Education, Lydia Chloe Fuchs.
Early Childhood Education, Valencia Nelson.
Early Childhood Education, Michelle Ann Malone.
With Scholastic Honors, Lily Leitzia.
With Scholastic Honors, Early Childhood Education, Tamara Faye Warren.
Early Childhood Education, LaShonda Travis.
Early Childhood Education, Kendra J. Johnson.
With Scholastic Honors, Diane Martin.
With Scholastic Honors, Early Childhood Education, Madeline L. Love.
Criminal Justice Studies, Michael Howard.
Nail Technician, Leslie Feliciano.
Nail Technician, Kalisha Seamster.
Nail Technician, Leslie Feliciano.
Community and Human Service Pathway, Esther Lisa Raffich, my apologies.
Nail Technician, Ajaya Harris.
Nail Technician, Lily Johnson.
Nail Technician, Chelsea Mosley.
Nail Technician, Blanca Moreno.
Nail Technician, Leda Marlene Tellez.
Nail Technician, Lily Zhang.
Nail Technician, Gia Janelle Deanda.
Nail Technician, Alana Maritza Ortiz. With Scholastic Honors, Child Care Services, Teresa Triblet.
Criminal Justice Studies, Kaden McLean Guerra.
Criminal Justice Studies, Paige Noel Berry.
With Scholastic Honors, Early Childhood Education, DJ A. Harvey.
With Scholastic Honors, Early Childhood Education, Tundria Stewart.
Human Service, Associate Dante L. Merriweather.
Legal Studies, Paralegal Anthony Zollicoffer.
Esthetician, Kara Jean McKellis.
Esthetician, King J. Yang.
Esthetician, Key Lar.
Esthetician, Raquel Anderson.
Esthetician, Ashanti Marie Jones.
Esthetician, Larenisha Townsend.
With Scholastic Honors, Esthetician, Janaya Jones.
Esthetician, Nefertiti Gamez.
Criminal Justice Studies, Orlando Gonzalez Fregoso.
Criminal Justice Studies, Terry Miller.
With Scholastic Honors, Early Childhood Education, Jasmine L. Powell.
Esthetician, India Wilkerson.
Esthetician, Bria Bridges.
Esthetician, Danae LaShawn Hill.
With Scholastic Honors, Early Childhood Education, Bilingual, Azucena Santos Alanis.
Human Service Associate, Elizabeth Nicole Martin.
With scholastic honors, Child Care Services, Salam Barakat.
Esthetician Vile Yang.
Esthetician Chantel S. Rogers.
Esthetician Telenisha Anderson Carolina.
Esthetician Stacy Silva.
Esthetician Kiana Cross.
Esthetician Mariah Avitia.
Esthetician Shalim Figueroa.
Esthetician Nakiri Underwood.
Esthetician Shanika Spite.
Esthetician Gabrielle S. Johnson.
Human Service Associate Cassandra K. Brickner.
With scholastic honors, Human Service Associate Brandy Archambault Fisher.
Human Service Associate Shauna Morris Patterson.
With scholastic honors, Human Service Associate Byron A. Crump.
Legal Studies Paralegal Sarah Brittman.
With scholastic honors, Legal Studies Paralegal Jenna Marquardt.
With Scholastic Honors Early Childhood Education Mackenzie Lynn Mankey.
Criminal Justice Studies LaQuisha R. Wesley.
Barber Apprentice Damian Jimenez.
Barber Apprentice Elijah S. Nuwan.
Cosmetologist Apprenticeship Alexis Cantu.
Cosmetologist Apprenticeship Jocelyn E. Carter.
Cosmetologist Apprenticeship Kristen Marie Grunwald.
Cosmetologist Apprenticeship Michaela R. Rutliff.
Cosmetologist Apprenticeship Jackson Tyler Vance.
Cosmetologist Apprenticeship Laura E. Dickinson.
And Emergency Medical Technician Kaya Miles.
Emergency Medical Technician Dea Ressi Rosario.
Emergency Medical Technician Mia Willis.
With scholastic honors, Early Childhood Education Anita Yvonne Robertson.
With Scholastic Honors, Ruben Anton, Legal Studies Paralegal. With Scholastic Honors, Emergency Medical Technician, Viridiana Nazareth Hernandez Salas.
Emergency Medical Technician Jason Cochava Contreras.
Criminal Justice Studies, Amaya Sims Dorsey.
Nail Technician Raina Rodriguez.
With Scholastic Honors, Graphic Design, Julian Pulliam.
With Scholastic Honors, Audio Production, Daniel James Olson. With Scholastic Honors, Audio Production, Rebecca Fossum.
Isabel Christina Overholt, Audio Production.
Audio Engineer, Deetra Rags.
Peyton Jeffrey Luke, Audio Production.
Audio Production, Jose Garcia Calderon.
William S. Kearney, Computer Simulation and Gaming.
E-Production, Nicholas Brown.
Aliana Arroyo, Graphic Design.
Graphic Design, Edgar Aldape.
Christian Lugo Salgado, Audio Production.
Production artist, Antonio Bennett.
Chernell Juvent Benet Harris, Culinary Arts.
Graphic design, Alec J. Hildebrand.
Okay. Destiny Virgil, Culinary Arts, graduating with Scholastic Honors.
With Scholastic Honors, Interior Design, Catherine Elizabeth Crosby.
Marcos Carranzo, Web and Digital Media Design.
Audio Engineer, Aiden Arjo Shang.
Okay. Charles H. Anderson, Carolina, Television and Video Production.
Television and Video Production, Eileen Perez.
Reagan C. Myers, E-Production.
Music Occupations, Ian P. Johnson. Ian.
Holly Jean Nato, Music Occupation.
With Scholastic Honors, Audio Engineer, Alexander Lavelle McDowell.
Roberto Lorenzana, Culinary Arts.
With Scholastic Honors, Culinary Arts, Kyle Lynn Billings.
Darius C. Caldwell, Animation.
With Scholastic Honors, Audio Production, Joseph Michael Callahan.
Jasmine Miskowski, Audio Engineer. With Scholastic Honors. Good job.
Audio Engineer, Stephen R. Jenkins. Audio Engineer, German Tavikius Jaimel Youngblood.
With Scholastic Honors, Christina Cook, Baking and Pastry Arts.
Baking and Pastry Arts, Shantae D. Shelton.
With Scholastic Honors, Tanisha Elaine Moore, Graphic Design.
Audio Production, Jordan Winston Robert Bird.
An Associate of Arts in Teacher Education, Corey Elizabeth Oney.
Associate of Arts, Teacher Education, Jessica N. Rink.
An Associate of Arts, Teacher Education with Scholastic Honors, Kia Slobodayanek.
With Scholastic Honors, Associate of Arts, Haley Nicole Reed.
An Adult High School, Latrice Jacobs.
With Scholastic Honors, Adult High School, Angela L. Russo Cordova.
Associate of Arts with Scholastic Honors, Abigail J. Stroshin.
Associate of Science, Sophie Jen Hurd.
Associate of Science, Keely V. Meyer.
Associate of Arts, Benjamin J. Bertina.
In Adult High School, Tamara Zollikoffer.
Associate of Arts, Jeffrey Thomas Grigorzik Jr.
In Individualized Technical Studies, Law, Public Safety, and Security, Mary N. Boyce.
Individual Technical Studies, Education and Training, Summer R. Awadala.
In Associate of Applied Science, Isabella Ann Saccone.
Associate of Arts, Mariema Bility.
Associate of Arts, Crystal Baez.
Associate of Arts, Jakar Mayfield.
In Adult High School, Kyron Dion Williams.
Associate of Arts, Psychology, Tavari Tyreek Robinson.
In Associate of Science, Stephanie Chapman.
Associate of Arts, Global Studies, Stephen Hedrick Mose. With Scholastic Honors.
In Associate of Arts, Teacher Education, Liban A. Ali.
Adult High School, Anaya Monique Howlett.
In Individualized Technical Studies, Law, Public Safety and Security, Peter F.P. Gallagher.
With Scholastic Honors, Associate of Arts, Aaliyah DeGyson. Eliana Dyson.
In Auto Collision Repair and Finish Technician, Kevon Jason Parchman Maribel.
From the School of Health, Fantasia Highshaw, Practical Nursing.
Practical Nursing, Frederica S. Slayton. With Scholastic Honors, Practical Nursing, Chanel Nicole McGee.
Elizabeth Gibson, Practical Nursing.
Practical Nursing, Jawanda D. Brooks.
Diamond E. Fitzhugh, Practical Nursing.
Emily Meelan, Practical Nursing.
Atara I. Jones, Practical Nursing.
Elizabeth Milagros Perez, Medical Coding Specialist. Margarita Perez Sanchez, Health Information Technology.
Amaritas Meza Marin, Phlebotomy.
With Scholastic Honors, Haley Amandalyn Bergman, Healthcare Services Management.
Genesis Bustamante, Practical Nursing.
With Scholastic Honors, Alexis Chanel, Health Unit Coordinator.
With Scholastic Honors, Patricia Elise Zerflu, Practical Nursing.
With Scholastic Honors, J.V. De Guzman, Practical Nursing.
Gerald De Guzman, Practical Nursing.
Elisa Cruz, Practical Nursing.
Gina Carmona, Practical Nursing.
With Scholastic Honors, Ankur Kashal, Associate of Science.
Brittany M. Ward, Practical Nursing.
Carnasia Dion Mims, Practical Nursing.
Caitlin Wiggins, Practical Nursing.
With Scholastic Honors, Jasmine Valentine, Phlebotomy.
Diane L. Hewlett, Practical Nursing.
Celeste Dominique McEwens, Practical Nursing.
With Scholastic Honors, Alexis T. Brown, Nursing Assistant.
Sonia Dockery, Community Health and Nutrition.
Sarah J. Kane, Practical Nursing.
With scholastic honors, Ashley Forster, Practical Nursing.
Jaquise Marie Gray, Practical Nursing.
With scholastic honors, Christian Omar Martinez, Physical Therapist Assistant.
David Stephen Schneidler, Physical Therapist Assistant.
Brady Radman, Physical Therapist Assistant.
Jacob Miles, Physical Therapist Assistant.
Kelsey Waters, Physical Therapist Assistant. With scholastic honors, Kylie Van Willigan, Physical Therapist Assistant.
With scholastic honors, Kirsten K. Webben, Physical Therapist Assistant.
Elise Gerard, Physical Therapist Assistant.
Evelyn Castle, Physical Therapist Assistant.
With scholastic honors, Kristen Darga, Physical Therapist Assistant.
With scholastic honors, Nicole A. Fabian, Physical Therapist Assistant.
Michelle L. Wolf, Practical Nursing.
Chelsea Prince, Practical Nursing.
Bola Osuji, Practical Nursing.
Shakayla A. Baker, Practical Nursing.
With scholastic honors, Marie Chavez, Medical Interpreter.
Inez L. Cronald, Healthcare Services Management.
Tita Boonhen, Medical Coding Specialist.
Jennifer Ortiz, Medical Interpreter.
With scholastic honors, Jacqueline Maisonette, Medical Interpreter.
Alejandra Lopez Cordero, Practical Nursing.
Tyzane Mylan, Health Unit Coordinator.
Magdalena A. Hinojosa, Medical Interpreter.
With scholastic honors, J.D. Hobbs, Nursing Assistant.
Janella Overstreet, Nursing Assistant.
With scholastic honors, Samantha Altamirano, Medical Interpreter.
With scholastic honors, Alejandra Maria Miller, Medical Interpreter.
Kimberly Sroka, Healthcare Service Management.
With scholastic honors, Daniel A. Reed, Physical Therapist Assistant.
With scholastic honors, Eric Brunner, Physical Therapist Assistant.
With scholastic honors, Melissa M. Daniels, Registered Nursing.
Andrea Gomez, Dental Hygiene.
Alicia A. Garcia, Dental Hygiene.
With scholastic honors, Megan Raymer, Dental Hygiene.
Maida Marie Ratsberg, Dental Hygiene.
Elizabeth N. Schaefer, Dental Hygiene.
With scholastic honors, Ryan Catherine Ann Gammon, Dental Hygiene.
Madeline Fritz, Dental Hygiene.
With scholastic honors, Jessica Fisher, Dental Hygiene.
Jasmine Ottman, Nursing Assistant.
With scholastic honors, Mariana M. Allen, Nursing Assistant.
Catherine Rivera, Registered Nursing.
With scholastic honors, Antoinette Lucille De Leon, Healthcare Services Management.
With scholastic honors, Jennifer Joaquin, medical interpreter.
With scholastic honors, Diana Melendez, medical interpreter.
Lena Aldahi, phlebotomy.
With scholastic honors, Jessica Maureen Vasile, registered nursing.
Kiora Free Barnes, practical nursing.
With scholastic honors, Caitlin Brower, registered nursing.
Samantha Jacoby, registered nursing.
With scholastic honors, Samantha Gray, registered nursing.
Kathleen Lucia Brunner, dental assistant.
With scholastic honors, Kudu, dental assistant.
With scholastic honors, Natalia Kurik Bednarski, dental assistant.
Datia Xiong, dental assistant.
Amelia Hinkle, dental assistant.
Nevaeh Zarate, dental assistant.
Heaven Bradley, dental assistant.
Savannah Renee Neely, practical nursing.
Charlotta D. Moore, health unit coordinator.
With scholastic honors, Susan Ann Barazin, practical nursing.
Pa Bo Say, medical assistant.
Noor Yasmin Omar, medical assistant.
Adrienne S. Willis, medical assistant.
Ogeshi O. Brown, medical assistant.
Ali Cha, medical assistant.
With scholastic honors, Ying Rose Moore, medical assistant.
Megan Torres, registered nursing.
Summer Strand, registered nursing.
Cinnamon D. Malone, practical nursing.
James N. Gibson, nursing assistant. Brittany M. Washington, LPN to RN progression.
Demia Chanel Causey, registered nursing.
Liana Way Janice, registered nursing, Mount Mary University associate degree.
With scholastic honors, Allison L. Horner, registered nursing.
With scholastic honors, Ted Tron, registered nursing.
Michelle Gayton, pharmacy technician.
Deanna Marie Christofferson, medical coding specialist.
Ebony S. Johnson, LPN to ADN progression.
With scholastic honors, Shernay Johnson, registered nursing.
Megan Ginyochinsky, registered nursing.
With scholastic honors, Anne Marie Becker, registered nursing.
With scholastic honors, Selena Hirachin, registered nursing.
With scholastic honors, Christina Marie Northern, registered nursing.
Allison Bavuso, registered nursing.
Paul A. Yua, medical assistant.
Manufacturing, construction, and transportation, Douglas Kelly, air conditioning and refrigeration technology.
Will Height, Tommy Will Height, air conditioning and refrigeration technology.
Zimone D. Hayes, air conditioning and refrigeration technology.
Taisha Hampton, diesel and powertrain servicing.
Marquise K. Jones, diesel and powertrain servicing.
Ahmed Azuheri, diesel and powertrain servicing.
Max Brown, diesel and powertrain servicing.
Frank Owens, MCT powertrain servicing.
Louis Russ, machine tool operations.
With Scholastic Honors, power engineering and boiler operator, Jose Gomez.
Santiago Aviles, automotive maintenance technician.
Kieran Bloom, automotive maintenance technician.
Matthew Dobson, automotive maintenance technician.
Jimmy Lee Hartman, automotive maintenance technician.
Alvin Paul Racio, automotive maintenance technician.
Daniel Murdoch, automotive technology maintenance.
Salvador Gomez Villanueva, truck driver.
With Scholastic Honors, Ethan Mariner Weibel.
With Scholastic Honors, Gavin Michael Ritt, automotive technology.
Nasim Demiri, automotive technology.
With Scholastic Honors, John Nunzio Vallone, automotive technology.
Facilities maintenance technician apprentice, Jonathan R. Bender.
With Scholastic Honors, Marie Erickson, landscape horticulture.
Jaquan Dismukes, bricklaying.
Louise Vasquez, auto collision repair and finish technician.
Jalil Brown, welding technology.
Siri Reichelt, machine tool operations.
Benicio Cortines, diesel and powertrain servicing.
Luis Adan Dorantes, diesel and powertrain servicing.
Noe Fernando Sanchez, diesel and powertrain servicing.
Biane Adriana Mercado Mora, diesel and powertrain servicing.
Jose Perez Wilding.
Jaden Smith, welding.
Josue Luna Sanchez, welding.
Mercedes Van Leer Machicote, welding.
Conrad Satchel, automotive maintenance technician.
Verdelsky Booth, welding. Martin F. Kennedy, Automotive Maintenance Technician.
Tyrone Randall, Automotive Maintenance Technician.
Danielle Jose Davila, Automotive Maintenance Technician.
With Scholastic Honors, Jose Luis Bermudez, Welding.
Omar Adrian Chavez, Welding.
Ivan Adrian Sandoval, Industrial Electrician Apprenticeship.
Oscar Hernandez Matas, Industrial Electrician Apprenticeship.
Connor Eiding, Industrial Electrician Apprenticeship.
McKinley Darnell Cohen's, Auto Collision Repair and Finish Technician.
Angel Maldonado, Electricity.
Graduating with honors, Michael Manuel Martinez, Electricity.
With Scholastic Honors, Jeffrey Scott Moravec, Electricity.
Caden Bryce Hutchins, Electricity.
Isabella Fernandez, Electricity.
Jada D. Addison, Electricity.
Jairo Navarrete, Electricity.
Randy Avila Vasquez, Truck Driver.
Juan Yepes, Truck Driver.
Austin Kramer, Truck Driver.
Peter Hurt, Truck Driver.
Michael T. Harris, Truck Driver.
Franklin Correa, Truck Driver.
With Scholastic Honors, Trevor Knowles, IT Network Specialist.
With Scholastic Honors, Radiat Onekeku, IT Information Systems Security Specialist.
With Scholastic Honors, Food Science Technology, Alham Alip Ali.
Crystal Elizabeth Valance, IT Information Systems Specialist.
Hugh A. Jacobson, IT Network Specialist.
Adam Taylor, Mechanical Design Technology.
With Scholastic Honors, Bonita Yahia, IT Web and Software Developer.
Mackenzie Johnson, IT Web and Software Developer.
Devin M. Hagler, Surveying and Mapping.
With Scholastic Honors, Brian A. Jackson Grau, Power Engineering and Boiler Operator.
Bailey Williams, Electricity.
Luis F. Vasquez Zapata, Electricity.
Welding, Benjamin E. Valdez.
Jean Carlos Rosas Barora, Electricity.
With Scholastic Honors, Olivia Ann Quiros, Electricity.
Yolanda J. Jackson, IT Computer Support Technician.
Trayvon Hall, IT Network Specialist.
Stephanie M. Weaver, IT Network Specialist.
Carrie A. Schlamer, Civil Engineering Technology.
With Scholastic Honors, Marcelo Carlos Stella.
With Scholastic Honors, Andrew Ryan Gomper, Information Systems Security Specialist.
With Scholastic Honors, Jeremy Michael Rodriguez, IT Information Systems Security Specialist.
Ingrid Ashley Rodin Egrajas, IT Information Systems Security Specialist.
Gary S. Matt Gillespie, IT Network Specialist.
With Scholastic Honors, Vincent Canigliaro, Network Specialist.
Abdullahi Noor, IT Computer Support Specialist.
Carlos Mediorga, IT Network Specialist.
Okay. Everybody excited? All right. Will all candidates please rise? Now, by the authority vested in me by the Milwaukee Area Technical College District Board of Directors and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon each of you the appropriate degree or diploma for which you have been certified. Graduates, you may now move the tassels from your caps from the right side to the left side. Woo! Congratulations to the Milwaukee Area Technical College Winter Class of 2024. To our speakers, thank you for your time and your wisdom. To our guests joining us today, thank you for all being here to mark this important moment in the lives of our graduates. To our newest alumni, on behalf of the entire MATC family, we wish you the success in the workforce and as lifelong learners. Congratulations! I now ask our Grand Marshal, Dr. Lisa Connolly, and our marshals to please take your positions and prepare to lead the Milwaukee Area Technical College Winter Class of 2024 from the arena. Students, please follow the marshals in order to exit the arena. Family and friends in attendance, please remain in your seats until the candidates have processed out of the arena. The Winter 2024 commencement ceremony is officially concluded. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.